Coming up next, National Hazing Prevention starts this week. Find out what Penn State is doing to make a difference.
We want to reinforce to people that we don't condone that.
Plus, State College is finalizing plans to help prevent tragedies at parking garages.
And Tussey Mountain hosted its annual kickoff event for the fall season.
Beer tents, good times, good food especially.
The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Brendan Conroy.
And I'm Olivia Jean. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, the National Transportation Safety Board continues to investigate a deadly crash involving a band traveling from New York to Pennsylvania. The wreck happened last week about 30 minutes from its destination. The bus rolled over on the highway, toppling down a 50-foot ravine and killing a band director and a retired teacher. 40 students and 4 adults from Long Island High School were on board. The state of New York held a press conference last week where Governor Kathy Hochul expressed her condolences.
Imagine the fear, the screams, in the aftermath when these high school students, many of them freshmen, were surrounded by this chaos.
All of the high school students injured in the crash are expected to recover. Police suspect front tire pressure may have been to blame.
A 20-year-old Penn State student is under arrest, accused of breaking into a State College home and attacking a family. Police say the suspect busted into the house on Metz Avenue on Friday by kicking in the front door and then assaulted the homeowners. He faces multiple charges and is set for a preliminary hearing next week.
It's been almost 6 years since Penn State student Tim Piazza died after a hazing incident at a fraternity. Now, during National Hazing Prevention Week, the university is taking more steps to help spread an anti-hazing message across campus. Gianna Kataya reports.
This morning, right when we set up, there was at least 20 people already in line waiting to go.
Penn State students turned out early to this event on campus, ready to pledge not to haze fellow students. As part of National Hazing Prevention Week, the event called These Hands Do Not Haze encouraged students to place their hand on a sheet pledging to stay away from hazing and in return receive a donut.
Early on in the week, we want to reinforce to people that we don't condone that as the school, as being a part of a fraternity, and the Penn Hellenic as well. None of us want to see that happen, so we're here to start that initiative.
I'm standing outside where Timothy Piazza tragically died in his fraternity Beta Theta Pi in 2017 due to hazing. Penn State this week is focusing on anti-hazing efforts so nothing like this ever occurs again. A severely intoxicated Piazza suffered a fractured skull and a lacerated spleen when he fell at a party and later died. The fraternity was permanently shut down. The Piazza Center was later created to be a national leader in preventing hazing.
We'd like to think that, this is for our members of the IFC, Pan Hellenic, and all the other Greek organizations. Yet at the same time, we want everyone to see this, that we're trying to take a stand, that we want to see hazing go.
The Piazza Center's director says college hazing often starts when students are much younger.
It's a problem that is being inherited from high school. And so if a student at the high school level middle school even, and high school level was bullied and or hazed, their susceptibility to being hazed and or becoming a hazer in college is exponentially more.
In fact, statistics show more than 1 million high school students are hazed each year, and almost half of students came to college already having experienced hazing. In University Park, I'm Gianna Kataya for the Center County Report.
For more information on how to prevent hazing, experts say visit hazingprevention.org.
A proposal to shift Pennsylvania's primary election to an earlier date is making progress. The state Senate has approved a bill to move up the 2024 primary election by 5 weeks to March 19th, trying to avoid a conflict with the Jewish holiday of Passover and give voters more of a say in deciding presidential nominees. The bill still requires passage in the state house. A familiar face is entering the Pennsylvania U.S. Senate race. Republican David McCormick has launched his second bid for Senate ahead of next year's election. He hopes to take on Democratic Senator Bob Casey after losing in last year's crowded Republican primary. A race between Casey and McCormick could be one of the nation's most expensive and closely watched in a year when Democrats have a tough Senate map that requires them to defend incumbents in red states including Montana, Ohio, and West Virginia, and swing states like PA.
Under Joe Biden and Bob Casey, what's supposed to be up is down, and what's supposed to be down is up. We can do better. We can do better.
McCormick entered last year's race and spent $14 million of his own money, but lost in the Republican primary to Dr. Mehmet Oz.
With the introduction of ChatGPT less than a year ago, artificial intelligence has become a prominent focal point in the world of technology. Joining us in the studio is Matt Cabram to provide further insights.
That's right, Olivia. Ever since the launch of ChatGPT in November 2022, artificial intelligence has brought its positives and negatives, but Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro is all in on it. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro signed the Artificial Intelligence Executive Order last week, saying Pennsylvania needs to embrace the technology and not fear it. AI could help deliver services to Pennsylvanians more effectively. Assistant Professor Jonathan Dodge says it will come with changes.
You should expect some job loss in the wake of a change like this, but, in principle, it's going to be offset by job creation elsewhere to some degree. Will it be a positive? Probably.
That may be the case in the long run, but Dodge says AI for state government could be problematic because it's too hard to test and could fail.
It's important to remember that when you're using kind of AI and ML techniques, all we're doing is approximating a function. So then the question becomes, how easy is it to approximate this function? How useful is it to approximate this function?
This executive order won't just affect state government, but businesses and educational institutions in PA too.
I know one thing that we're really, everybody's lighting their hair on fire in academia about this notion of students farming out education to chatbots.
This executive order follows lawmakers in at least 25 states who've introduced bills to address AI. Shapiro's plan starts by recruiting AI specialists to help integrate AI into state agencies. Those specialists the governor will be recruiting are part of a 2-year fellowship program employing graduate students to work with state agencies.
A new hotel and other commercial spaces may be coming to Shiloh Road in College Township. The Township's Planning Commission has seen a plan detailing the possible development of 7 commercial lots and a 115-room hotel. Under the plan, Trout Road, which is now a private drive for access to Maxwell Trucking, would be extended across Shiloh Road to provide public access to the commercial lots. The development plan would also need a new 4-way intersection and sidewalks. The property owner has yet to identify the hotel company hoping to build on the lot. The next step in the process would be a land development plan.
A pizza place in downtown State College has closed after almost 60 years in business. Highway Pizza and its sister restaurant, The Saloon, are on the corner of East College Avenue and Heister Street. Owner Dante's Restaurants and Nightlife says the closures came after, quote, abrupt and unforeseen change of plans. Highway Pizza opened in 1976. Another location on West College Avenue will stay open, and employees at the downtown restaurant have been offered jobs there.
State College plans to make changes to its parking garages in the near future. The changes come after 2 people died in March and April of this year from jumping off parking garages in the area. The borough plans to make some changes to promote mental health in the garages.
Well, some of the things we're looking at doing is adding some signage to our facilities, directing people that may be having some mental health issues or thinking of suicide, giving them options.
An official plan for the changes is being finalized and may be announced before the end of the year.
Still to come on the Center County Report, we've seen days of rain and clouds. Is better weather on the way? We'll have your 7-day forecast.
Plus, a national award for a Center County school. Also coming up, a taste of fall as an annual celebration comes to Boalsburg. We'll take you there after the break. We've officially said goodbye to summer and hello to fall. That also means that fall festival time is here. Reporter John Calavita takes you to a popular annual event in Boalsburg at Tussey Mountain.
Music, food, beer, and lots of fun. As fall arrived over the weekend, Tussey Mountain kicked off the autumn season with its annual Oktoberfest celebration. Greg Klein actually lived in Germany for a time, and he says Tussey's event is the real deal.
It's very reminiscent of that with the music and the food and the good times and the singing and friends, yeah.
Oktoberfest originated in Munich, Germany more than 200 years ago in celebration of a royal wedding. It's grown into huge events not only in Germany, but across the world.
Munich, beer tents, good times, good food especially, schnitzel, bratwurst.
There are now more than 150 similar German festivals in North America, including here in central PA. Pennsylvania's German-American population is more than 3 million, the largest of any U.S. state. To most people, the primary symbol of Oktoberfest is beer. But to those of Austrian, German, and Bavarian descent, it's a beautiful celebration of their culture. Along with food and beer, traditional polka music, and singing and dancing are always a highlight. Rachel Hevner says the sense of community and being able to get out and experience new things is a hidden gem.
It's great. It's great. Good vibes, good food, good beer, perfect weather. It's awesome.
While Hevner was enjoying herself, she was slightly disappointed in her other half.
And I wanted my husband to dress up too, but he only went with the shirt. I got him the lederhosen, but he only went with the shirt.
Tussey was a scene of laughs and good spirits as people enjoyed the festival. In Boalsburg, I'm John Calavita for the Center County Report.
Tussey Mountain has more events coming up, including the Acres Project Adventure Challenge on October 7th and a vintage car show October 13th called the Friday the 13th Freakout.
Well, it definitely is not summer anymore. Taking a look above Penn State campus, taking a look above Beaver Stadium today. Gray skies, cloudy skies, and there's rain around today. There's going to be lingering showers as we go throughout the day today, and it's feeling very fall-like. 54 degrees right now. It feels like 54 with a northeast wind at 6 miles an hour. And of course, we have those lingering showers around. Now, taking a look at our local temperatures here in the State College area, we're generally in the mid-50s, slightly warmer temperatures to our south and east, places like Harrisburg right now at 62 degrees. And as we zoom out across the Commonwealth, we're seeing generally 50s and 60s across the Commonwealth, high 50s, low 60s, warmer to our southeast. Philadelphia right now is 62 degrees. Now, taking a look at our local radar, as you can see earlier this morning, we had those lingering showers around. We still have some lingering showers around here in State College. And these clouds are going to stick around throughout the day today, but we will clear up as we go into this evening. Now, let's take a look at that. Going into this evening, as you can see, no more rain, but those clouds are still here in State College. As we go into tomorrow, we're going to clear up a little bit. The sun is definitely going to come out tomorrow. And as you can see, we're going to be having partly cloudy skies. As we go into Thursday, we're going to be seeing those clouds stick around, a very similar day for Wednesday and Thursday. And overall, we're going to be staying dry as we go into the middle of the week. As we go towards the end of the week, however, you can see we're going to have some clouds around for Friday, and there is a slight chance of a shower associated with this larger system as we go into Friday. Now, as we go into Saturday and into the weekend, that shower chance is going to diminish, and those clouds are going to go out of our area as we go into Sunday. As you can see, Sunday, we're mostly clear across the northeast, and we're going to be pretty warm. We're going to be pretty above average as we go into this weekend. But for today, here in State College, 56 degrees with those lingering showers going to be sticking around throughout the day, more likely earlier in the day rather than later. Winds out from the east at 8 miles an hour. As we go into tonight, we'll drop down to the 40s with those clouds sticking around, but less of a shower chance tonight. Winds out from the east again, 6 miles an hour, a little bit lighter. And as we go into tomorrow, slightly warmer, and the sun will definitely come out. 62 degrees is the expected high for tomorrow. And taking a look at our 7-day forecast, we're going to be seeing showers linger around today. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s. As we go into the middle of the week with Wednesday and Thursday, temperatures will be in the 60s, and the sun is going to peak out, but we're still going to have those clouds around. There's definitely going to be a shower chance for Friday. And as we go into the weekend, temperatures will bump up to the 70s. And we're going to actually start out the beginning of next week with above average temperatures, high of 76 degrees as we go into Monday.
I can't wait for that warmer weather. It's been raining too much here.
I agree. I think the rain needs to go away, and I think we need to see, like you said, those clear skies and way less clouds next week, especially for all the sporting events we have going on. But speaking of sports, Tim Rogers will update you right now.
The Pittsburgh Steelers ran into unexpected trouble on their way home from a Sunday win in Las Vegas. That story in sports. Also coming up, Penn State hits the road this week after a major whiteout win. We'll take a look back at the game against Iowa next. I'm Tim Rogers with sports. Penn State football is up to number 6 in the rankings after a big whiteout win over Iowa on Saturday. Let's take a deeper dive into the game at rainy Beaver Stadium. The energy was high in Beaver Stadium as the Nittany Lions took on their first-ranked opponent of the season. The weather was classic football weather in State College, cold and rainy. That meant a slow start to the game, with Penn State getting on the board first with an Alex Felkins field goal. Penn State got the first touchdown as well, as quarterback Drew Aller found tight end Khalil Dinkins for the 9-yard score, giving the Nittany Lions the 10-0 lead at the end of the first half. Penn State continued to utilize the tight ends as Tyler Warren snagged the next 2 scores of the game to expand the lead to 24-0. Aller then threw his 4th touchdown of the game in the 4th quarter, finding wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith in the end zone. But the key for Penn State's success was their defense.
We put a priority on athleticism. There's probably a few bigger defenses, but we are athletic and we're quick and we're fast and we're explosive. And we're playing more consistent gap sound defense.
The Nittany Lions were all over Iowa quarterback Cade McNamara, including this strip sack by defensive end Chop Robinson. The defense held the shutout for Penn State, the first time in 23 years the Hawkeyes were shut out. Penn State now moves up in the AP poll to number 6 as it heads on the road this week. Penn State takes on Northwestern Saturday in Evanston with kickoff set for noon Eastern time. You can listen to the game live on Penn State's Com Radio with our broadcast team at Ryan Field. Now let's take it to high school football, shall we? It was the Battle of the Cambrias. The Panthers traveled to Red Devil territory to see who will come out victorious. It was a chippy matchup all the way through as the Panthers and Red Devils fight for the goalpost trophy. Starting things off here in the first quarter, Grady Snetter, he's going to run that one up the middle to get Central Cambria to strike first. But now we're going to take it 4 minutes to go left in the first. How about Brady Jones finding Gavin Harold over the middle for the touchdown, getting that student section excited. Look at them showing out here. That's what you love to see. And guess what? It's the Jones and Harold show, everybody. They're going to connect for another touchdown. Harold's going to get the ball and the purple crayon all the way into the end zone. These two had an incredible connection all game. But now in the fourth quarter, Central Cambria, they're going to try to get something. Hunter Pittsinger, who's he going to find? Oh, no, that's Harold. He's going to be getting it on the defensive side of the ball as well, intercepting it in the end zone. And then on the following drive, Thomas Plunkett bursts up the middle for the rushing touchdown, which would mean the Panthers take home that coveted goalpost trophy for the 4th straight year, beating the Red Devils 38-6. The Philadelphia Eagles took on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for one of 2 Monday Night Football matchups. The Eagles, who were looking to start 3-0 on the season for the 2nd straight year, were able to find the end zone first as quarterback Jalen Hurts danced around the pocket to find an open Olamide Zaccheaus to give the Eagles the 10-3 lead. Hurts would find the end zone again, this time utilizing his legs to give Philly the 20-3 lead. The Eagles would continue to soar for the rest of the game, resulting in a 25-11 win. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now back home today after their plan had to make an emergency landing yesterday. The team was on its way back from Las Vegas after Sunday's game, but the charter flight was forced to land in Kansas City because of an oil pressure failure in one of the engines. They eventually made it back to Pittsburgh safely. The 4th-ranked and unbeaten Penn State women's soccer team heads to Michigan on Thursday in their last game. They used late heroics to overcome tough weather. On a cold and rainy Sunday, the Nittany Lions were able to pick up the 1-0 win over Nebraska. After numerous chances for both sides and big saves, senior midfielder Corey Dyke finally broke the tie in the 81st minute. The team also took time to honor its alumni during halftime. Penn State has now won 9 straight games and is 9-0-1 on the season. Now that's all for sports, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Tim. I really got to get to a women's soccer game. Haven't been able to go yet.
Yeah, it sounded like in the sports world there was a lot of dominance, a lot of teams doing well, being successful. What more can you ask for? Thanks, Tim. Coming up next, a local school received a big-time national award. Find out which school, coming up next.
An elementary school in State College has won a national award from the U.S. Department of Education. Radio Park Elementary is one of the only 13 Pennsylvania schools named as a National Blue Ribbon School. It's among the best performers on state assessments and national tests. This is the 3rd time a State College area school district has won the award.
I'm really proud of the community here. We have really great teachers and paras and custodians and kitchen staff and great families that support us as well.
Radio Park is home to around 400 pre-K through 5 students.
Congrats to them. That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us this Friday for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report Twitter, and you can also see our stories on our Facebook page and our website. Have a good afternoon.